Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be looking at the Invisiframe kit for my new 2026 Cube 177. So let's have a look at the kit and what do we get. So this is the box it comes in. Nice Invisiframe box there. And let's have a little look what you get inside. So it comes with the installation pack. And in this pack you get a couple of things to help you install. So there's a couple of lint-free cloths, some stickers, you get some pre-application cleaning wipes. These are to go on your frame, and you get the fitting solution concentrate to make the soap spray, and another pre-application cleaning wipe. So two of them. You get your squeegee, and then all of your kit. It's wrapped up there in an elastic band, and that also comes with the instructions, outlines exactly which piece is for what. Let's roll the kit out and have a quick look at what you get. So it's quite a large kit, and there's also a scan on how to fit inside on the QR code there, and that takes you to the YouTube video, although there's loads of YouTube videos on how to fit this. I've never fitted this before, so this is going to be a first for me. So yeah, let's have a look how it goes on a bike. Alright guys, so we've got some Invisiframe on the bike now. What I've done is I've put Invisiframe on the back. My lighting in here is shocking, so I've had to use LED lights and lamps so I can actually see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do, I'll just show you what I've done with the LED light now. So I've wrapped all of the rear triangle. You have to take this rubber protector off to be able to get underneath it, because the wrap goes around it. It's not perfect, but I'm quite happy with it. I've done all the back of the seat. It's actually really difficult to see, but the wrap is really good. I highly recommend it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this top tube. So I'll let you guys watch me do this top tube. Hopefully it's a bit more of a simple one. If you're looking for tips, I would say water's your friend to slip it in place, but when you're doing these tiny bits like this one here, it's so small. If you use a lot of water, it's just slipping off. You can actually lose the film. I did actually lose it on my cloth at one point. Had to get it back on. So yeah, those little ones can be really difficult. And I did find that the one that comes back down the bottom of the seat stay here was actually a little bit too long for the bearing. So on that one, I did have to do a little bit of a cut. So yeah, other than that, it's actually been okay. I'd like to say it's not as difficult as what I thought it was going to be, but it's probably not as easy as what I thought it was going to be. But once you get the hang of it, I'd say it's easier. The bigger pieces are definitely easier to do than the smaller pieces, for sure. It would have helped massively if I'd had a proper bike stand, but I haven't. So done the back end with the bike just upside down with the wheel off, which probably made it more awkward than it needed to be. So right, let's get this prepared and then we'll get some film on it. So you're going to need one of the pre-application wipes. I would say two's not enough to do a whole bike. You get some extras, because I used one to do the whole back end. And unless you're going to sit there for 9 hours and do the whole entire bike in one go, I would say get some extras. Or you might be able to do it quicker than I did. But yeah, so I'm going to prepare this top tube now, and then I'll go and get the film. And we'll get it floated on there, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So we're over here at the film, and what we're looking for is the big top tube piece. So you do get the sheet, and it's an exact layout, so you can find it. I know what the top piece looks like, so This can be difficult. This is why I use an LED light. I just shine over it. So this is top piece. I can see this is the screen cut out right here. So what you want to do is get your soapy mix, spray that over. You want to just make sure you coat your fingers as well. It sounds ridiculous, but actually you really will find that you can get fingerprints on the adhesive side. So all you do is just find an edge and just peel it up, and then you're just going to peel that straight off of your sheet. This stuff's quite strong. I tried to cut a little piece with a little craft knife and it was having none of it. I had to get a big pair of scissors. So this is a bit of a delicate piece. Now what you want to do, once you've got it, just spray that. And these big pieces you can get as wet as you like. It makes it easier for floating in. So once you've got that and you've got it all wet, and that will stop you from getting anything. We're going to take this over to the bike now. We're just going to spray the bike, get that nice and wet, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to get this floated on now. So as you see, you don't really need to worry too much about placement, because you can float this on. As long as you've got it wet, you can float this on. So I'm just going to show you there. Let's just go and grab that LED light, just so I can show you guys what's going on. So we've now got it. You see, I've got it here, and you have these what they call datum lines, and that's that tiny little notch just there. And what you want to do is try and just get that into the middle. On some pieces it's going to be obvious, like this obviously goes around the screen, so you want to make sure you've got this around the screen, and that center line right in the middle. So you can normally find a part of your frame that you can take that from, and you just want to make sure that you're getting that in the right position. I probably don't have enough water on this because it's not floating around as much as what I'd like. You can see why I've got to use the LED light, because sometimes you think you've got it in place and you actually don't. So you can see we've got another little datum line here, and you need to make sure that there's nothing underneath this, no little hairs, no little bits of dirt, because if there is and you leave them there, you will notice it. I actually had a little speck of dirt on one of the ones on the back, and it still annoys me now. I know it's there. There's nothing I can do about it without ripping it up and doing it again. So I just want to make sure that that center line is spot on, right on the middle of the frame. And then what we're going to do, once you've got it in place, you just strike a line. They call it a lock line because it locks it in place. Just strike a line straight down the middle, and that will actually will hold everything in place. So make sure this is nice and flat. You don't want any creases when you get to the end. You see there, like that's flat now, and that's not lining up. So I'm going to have to adjust that so we can get that light to stay still. That's better. That's more lined up now. I just want to make sure that's all nice around this screen here, that you're not going to end up with any little creases or anything. So guys, right, that is on now. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your squeegee and you're going to do what they call this lock line, okay, straight down the middle. So you want a nice big strike. So just take your squeegee and just run it straight down like that, okay. I've actually got a crease there, so I'll just use my squeegee. Now you're just going to push all that water out. So once you've locked that in straight down the middle, you'll see now that that is locked to the frame. And then it's just a case of taking your squeegee and squeegeeing the water out. I've noticed it's better to do long strokes rather than little small ones. And if you find that you've got any bits, you just need to pull it up, and obviously where it's wet underneath it won't stick. So if you're finding it's not sticking, you've got too much water or too much soap in your mix. Once that water comes off, you'll be okay. Just got to make sure. I've got a dog, so I'm getting tiny little hairs all the time, and I'm just having to be careful. So now what I'm doing here, I'm just squeegeeing all this water out. And as you squeegee the water out, it makes the film contact with the paint of the bike. And that's how you're gonna get it to adhere to the bike. So I'm just going to go around now, squeegeeing all this water out, making sure that everything's stuck down and that there's no problems. Right, that's one side of this top tube stuck down now. This little bit at the bottom here, it's actually been a bit of a pain in the neck, to be honest. And this is what I mean about some of the smaller pieces. So the rest stuck down nice. But this bit where it just lips up here, just didn't want to stick down. Just a bit too much water in there, just didn't want to stick. So yeah, get the cloth, put the cloth in there and it's okay. Annoyingly, I've actually overlapped the vinyl very slightly here. I don't think it's going to be noticeable in the end though. So yeah, that's one side done. Now I'm going to flip the bike round, because obviously I don't have a bike stand. I'm leaning it against furniture. Guys, get a bike stand if you're going to do this job. It makes life so much easier. So, I've got the bike flipped round now. So you can see I've got all this edge here that still needs to be done. So let's just squeegee some of that out. So again, you just take your squeegee and just run it along. You really do need this LED light, I feel, because there's some microscopic air bubbles that you, well, I certainly don't see until I put the LED light on it, and then you go, oh, it's an annoying bit. So like that there, I'm just going to pull the film up a little bit and then just squeegee it back down, and that'll just get rid of that. So you just, if you need to, just pull it up a little. And I think this is the thing to note, guys. You do get time, so don't worry about getting it on the bike and not being able to readjust it or move it, because you really can. So I'm going to perfect this little bit now. So I've just got to do down here, down there, and then I'll show you what it looks like done. Right, guys, that's this side all done now. I'm quite happy with how it's gone on, but it's by no means perfect. You need patience to do this job, that's all I'm going to say. If you're not confident, maybe take it to a shop. It's well worth doing, 100%. But, you know, it takes a long time. You need to make sure you've put a lot of time aside. You're not going to whip this on your bike in an hour. That's just not going to happen. So you need to make sure you're allowing yourself the time. But if the joint is just here, it's almost like you can't even really see. You just go over the LED light and your cloth and just really rub on there, and then you need to come back 24 hours afterwards and just rub over any of the edges. Anything that's lipped up slightly will just go straight back down. The cloth really comes in handy to soak up the moisture as well. So that is on. So I'm quite happy. I think that's pretty seamless, to be fair. So I'm happy with how that's gone on. I've now got to get both sides for the down tube, and then there's a little bit for the head tube and a couple of side pieces on the seat tube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting those on the bike now. finished product. We are finally done. So this is the bike, all wrapped now, all finished. I think it came out pretty well. It's not perfect. You can see the odd bits and pieces. Again, my lighting is rubbish, so you guys probably can't see that well, but I've just fitted the hook crank arms, new DMR Volt pedals. We're wrapping the Invisiframe sticker. Not that you can see that because it's too dark, but yeah, one of the little stickers that came with it's on there. But yeah, that's the whole kit. Well worth doing. So get yourself onto Invisiframe's website and get yourself a kit. And if you've got, take yourself a spare few hours and get your bike all wrapped and protected. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.